Hey there, friends. Happy day after Thanksgiving. I hope that all of you are having the kind of day that you want to have, and whether that is kind of laying around the house, recuperating from all of the prep to get your holiday meal ready, or if you choose to visit stores today on Black Friday, more power to you. I don't want to be in that, but I think that, we are individuals, and we really have to remember that, especially at this time of year. We are individuals, and how we choose to spend our time, on a holiday, then it's totally up to us, right? It's totally up to us. So do what you want to do. It's a great day no matter what you are doing. I've got a couple new journals to go in the shop today. Today is Friday. I'm going to try to go to the post office today. I don't know how that's going to go. I did mail the 3 journals that we sold on Wednesday. And I Tuesday, and I mailed those Wednesday, and nobody was at the post office. So we'll just see how it goes. If I cannot get them mailed today, then they are going to go in my suitcase to be mailed from Atlanta. These are 2 of just my favorite things to work with. I love this time pattern, and I also love our kitty cat charm right here. So let's start off with time. This is a fabric that I have had for a while. I really enjoy this fabric. Some of you may remember that this fabric also came in a black and white, and we used the black and white was gone within no time flat. The bead strand is very simple. It's glass beads and some cracked glass beads, so it's just super simple. Let's take a look inside. I did use a star brad here, and you guys know that anytime that we veer from the round brad status, that sometimes a brad like this gets a little fiddly, but the thing was that the star brad just seemed to go with the passage of time. When we think about time, and we think about day and night, and we think about clocks, that's what is on this fabric. We have clocks, we have tachometers and things like that. So, just a passage of time. So I just couldn't resist really using this star brad here. So let's take a look and see what we have. I do have some new papers that I'm working with. We have a little skinny book for you, a mini book. I did incorporate some elements from a tutorial that I did lately about processing a magazine. So we've got book elements, we've got pretty papers to play with. Of course, anytime you see a paper, remember that that's totally removable from the book. You can take it out, you can turn it into a card, you can send it to someone as a note, you can tear it up and use it for chippies. You can do whatever you want to with it. This is one of my favorite stamps. I just thought she looked really pretty stamped on this vintage text. We have vintage photos of horses, and this was from a book called Do You Own a Horse, I think, that was so absolutely beautiful. More text for you to play with. Text is such a valuable thing, whether you just read the text page and learn some new German or French or Italian, or you tear it up and use it for something else. It's I love the colors of the text, the layers of white, and you can just make fun things using text pages. This, I was processing a 1986 National Geographic last night, and I ran across this little item that said, a nation of readers want to read more, talk less, keep a book in your briefcase, by your bed, get up 15 minutes early, read a new poem aloud each night before dinner. I love that. I just thought that was the coolest idea. And then also from the 1986 Reader's Digest, we can see like a planning meeting here. And I wanted to note this to you because there is a conspicuous absence of any computers or any mobile phones, technology. You know, this is the way that I learned to conduct a meeting, right? You had, and everybody here has a different sort of way they're writing. This guy prefers a spiral notebook. This lady has papers on her lap plus a ledger pad. It's just so interesting to think about how technology has really impacted our lives. I was going to say empower, but I'm not quite sure that that's a good word. It's impacted. We have some owl cutouts for you, an owl napkin that is just gorgeous, an old owl. This is a an andiron, and it is just, it's so super cool. You know, when andirons were used in fireplaces, because fireplaces were used to warm your tea or to cook your meal. Of course, you guys know that I'm fascinated with food photography. I think the arrangement is just so pretty. There's something to really learn about the way, you know, the collage elements here and the way that things have come together. So just a little learning food photography for you. This is from Sherlock Holmes illustration. This little pocket is all about adventure. These are people who manned the Titanic expedition in 1986. So they're actually in the dive submarine that they used. This is a card that I made that says capture tomorrow. So, you know, what sort of adventure are you going to have this year? I also, because I was processing the Titanic edition of National Geographic, I ran across the word oceans, and I just thought that was super cool. This is also Titanic related from 1986. This is an actual artist rendering of the ballroom, Ocean Liners of the Past by Patrick Stevens. Is that not gorgeous? And this is another item from that National Geographic. And you know, I realized that my little boy was born in 1986, and that was quite a year, wasn't it? Halley's Comet, the discovery of the Titanic, not the discovery of the Titanic, but the actual investigation of the Titanic. These are old encyclopedia pages that I just really dig. Bird plates from a bird book. Those are really super cool too. There's a card that says gratitude. There's a quote here that says, "You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. You cannot escape the result of your thoughts." When I am at my sister's house, she has a library in her house. And it's my favorite thing to do in the morning is go in her library and choose a book and just read for, you know, 15, 20 minutes. I'd never really get to do that at home. This is a curated collage collection. It's about the way you think. I don't get to do that at home, and I am really, really looking forward to it. The last time I was there, I read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, which I thought was a very, very interesting book because it did bring the whole you are what you think scenario to a different century, you know, a different decade. I just thought it was very, very interesting. This, again, is a clipping from the Sherlock Holmes book that I am enjoying so much. You've got an art trading card to play with, a bit of fabric, a fabric swatch right here, and some pattern paper. And, of course, the word approved, which I love. I think I'm going to create a stamp that says approved and just put it on everything, you know, because the more that sense of approval kind of seeps into your body, the more refreshed you feel. You know that you are not just randomly, like, you're not a pinball, right? You aren't that orb in a pinball machine. Everything is planned out for you. Everything is a step in your development. Everything is pointing you exactly to where you need to be and what you need to do to grow yourself. So always remember that. You are approved. Approved, approved, approved. I'm giving you an approved stamp right now. This is a sewn tag. These are the ones that I had for sale at Miss Emily's shop in the spring. Of course, it's very spring related. This is an illustration from the book that Through the Narrow Gate, which is one of my very favorite books in the whole wide world. This is from the Cocoa book that someone sent me. I think Miss Trill sent me that. I thought that all of this just went together really nicely. It says, Lucky, I'm Irish. This is Hyde Park in the season of spring, so it's very, very green, the green shamrock. I thought it all just kind of went together very nicely. The New Year page right here kind of goes along with some fancy food for New Year's, which is ribs. I'm not a fan, but it's okay. I also really liked the green here, you guys, because it picks up on that shamrock theme, which I thought was kind of cool. Cool. This is, again, the food photography. I'm really into that. This is a beautiful cake, and of course, there is a guest check under here, so you can order your own cake or order yourself something from the universe that you would like the universe to deliver to you. Write it and don't think about it. Don't ride too close in single file. It's about the horse's length. I love that this horse ephemera, I believe this was from 1950, is annotated. So you can pull out this page and read it, learn about horses, and then dig those annotations. This is some sprayed papers. Bird ephemera. I love this page. It makes me want to take it out and not put it in the book. I'm kidding. It's just so darn pretty. I love the way that it turned out. It's peaceful, to see that little owl there. It's very refreshing. Speaking of refreshing, you guys know that one of my very favorite books is Jesus Calling. And no matter what your religious affiliation, I don't care what you are. I really, that's just not my thing. But anyway, one of my favorite books is Jesus Calling, and it's just very uplifting, and it's always timely. And I found the Jesus Calling YouTube channel today. So if you guys are fans of Jesus Calling, you got to check that out. It's super neat. Super, super neat. This morning, the guests were Rita Wilson and Rhonda Vincent, and I just, their stories, me, I'm just dead into the story, y'all, and it's, their stories were just so incredibly interesting. This is Scotland Yard, again, from our Sherlock Holmes encyclopedia, which is so much fun to play with. Oops, I said play with. A sewn tag for you guys. These are back and front tags. These took so long to make because what I did was I decoupaged the paper. I cut out the paper. I sewed the ephemera on it. I chose a word. I did the eyelet at the top, and then I put a little bit of fiber on the top as well. So there we go, my friends. This book is $42. It's 5x7. It has a 2-inch spine. It has that weird fiddly closure on it, so what you'll need to do is pull down, take the closure, and watch here, because sometimes you have to kind of take your closure and kind of close it back up. But you guys know, y'all know what to do by now. Y'all are smart. Let's take a look at Kitty Cat. I think we're going to call this Playful Kitties. I love the way that the vase is slightly off kilter, and we can see that the kitties are really loving to play right here. This is what the spine looks like, and we've got a 2-inch spine. It's a 5x7 book. A very simple closure here with just a colored brad. Starts off with a little bit of coffee ephemera. You are the cream in my coffee. I even like the coffee colored button up here. I thought that was really nice. Owl ephemera for you. This time there's a feather over here. That you've got a small mini book. You've got a bird cutout, a little brad pad right here, and there's a quote that can start you out on a journaling journey with this flow book. If money is your only hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. And that is a quote by Henry Ford. As we kind of enter next year, and next year it just seems to be, 2020 seems to be a big year for a lot of people. And as we enter 2020, then it just seems to be a decade where things might change. And I'm feeling that in my own life. Next year, I will apply for my Social Security, which to me indicates a real change. To me, change is not bad. To me, change is just one of those things that happened. And if anyone would sit down and just take a look at my life story, they would go, oh my gosh, you've gone through a lot of changes. Well, haven't we all? Haven't we all, my friends? I love the kitty drinking out of the stream of water here. Winston loves to do that. So when I am babysitting he and his brother, I always turn the tap on for him so he can play with it. He likes to swat at it and then try and drink it. We also have these leather pieces in here for you guys. Just remember, you've got a piece of tooled leather to play with. We were talking about 2020, and it really is, it's a new decade. It's a time, it just really feels like time, a change is in the air. Now, that usually happens, of course, during the new year. You're kind of feeling that change coming on. But I'm really, really feeling it for 2020. We've got an art trading card for you that says 34. There's another one here that says warm. The word real. There's a little bit of Halloween sticking in here. You've got an art trading coin to play with. This is Dilutions. I just think that's really pretty with this background piece. That really worked out really nicely. I've got a sewn tag for you. This is an art trading card that says extra mile. Are you going the extra mile this year? We kind of go into the new year with like all this enthusiasm, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then by the time the end of February rolls around, it's like, we just kind of get tired of that. So be sure that what you're doing is kind of on track with the actual desires of your heart. Look at that Dalmatian dog. Is he not cute? And I think that the reason sometimes that we can't stick with resolutions is because they're resolutions. Maybe they should just be ideas. Maybe they should just be more of like in a suggestive nature, not so firm as a resolution. Even the word just sounds heavy. Don't be heavy, be light. Be light. Got pattern paper here for you, some stickers right here, more kitty cat ephemera, encyclopedia ephemera, horse ephemera. Spend time with your loved ones and create your own family tree. Take time together to fill in the pages and share stories. You might learn more about yourself too, like where your love of music comes from. Rhonda Vincent talked about that this morning, and it was really inspiring. She said that her whole family had always played music together because they're from a small town in West Virginia, maybe. And, you know, basically there's not a lot to do except for play music and go to church. I think that that is fascinating. This is a sewn tag back here in the back for you. Got some metal elements and fabric elements to play with, my friends. Santa Claus puzzle box. That is just a clipping from a magazine. There's fabric right here, and it says wildlife, and there are bunnies and cupcakes lining this pocket. So maybe that's, or maybe you're going to pick up on the bee idea about wildlife, maybe the kitty cat idea for wildlife. You know, always look at your cues, and you'll see something that relates to that cue as you are as you're perusing through the magazine. This is a Madagascar palm, and it's also called Ghost Men. That's a full thing, a full page for you to read about. I think that books, you know, even a flow journal, it needs to be interesting. You know, we need to have fun things to read about and think about. Got some owl ephemera for you. Little owl stickers. Lots and lots of papers to play with. I also see that I need to stick in a few extra elements in here, which I will do after our video. This is another andiron right here. It says future. An illustration from Through the Narrow Gate, a rolled paper flower for you guys. These are tedious to make, but they're so pretty. I really love making them. This is a hawk. I have a friend who is, I love that. I love those two pages together. As a matter of fact, this whole spread looks really super cool. You could do something mixed media with that. I have a friend who is a, he has hawks, and he flies hawks, and it is just one of the most fascinating things to watch him train his hawks and watch them fly. So beautiful. Another hawk right here. And this page says, live in this moment. There's a woman here, and she is working in a studio. So I thought that that would be a really great way to end this journal. So you could think about your studio and the things that you might like to do next year. Do you have a studio? Do you have a corner? You know what? It's not, if you want to do art, don't wait to have a room. Don't wait to have a room of your own. Don't wait to have a closed door. Just take a corner, my friends. Take a corner and make it your own. And don't wait to start your art journey. You guys are smart. You're talented. You know what you're doing. Take a corner, make it your own, and get started on your art journey. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.